Turns out if you give the ovooling MVP Joel Embiid the same look over and over all night, committing no additional people to guarding him and having the same approach with Tyrese Maxey, you get absolutely obliterated, which you shouldn't be shocked by that information, but apparently the Timberwolves wanted some proof of it, as they lose by 14 on the road in Philadelphia, playing the 3 seed in the East, Philadelphia 76ers. This was actually a pretty close game, as we had just a 4-point deficit going into half. Jaden McDaniels had a huge first half with 19 points. However, he would only finish with 21 points for the game. And in that first half, he was driving the ball so extremely well, really aggressive with that, challenging Embiid multiple times, especially in transition. I love to see one of those plays, and he just kind of bullied him, gets the ball high off the backboard, and sends Embiid flying into the stands. And I mean, that's going to happen with basically anyone looking Embiid's direction. However, it was fun to see Jaden actually do that and finish through some contact. And his offensive game was great in the first half, but then we didn't have any involvement of him in the half court in the second half, and he just had his one basket on a transition putback. And so it was kind of disappointing to not see him continue to get some pick and rolls and just cut off of ball movement, which somewhat swished in the second half from the Wolves, as we wouldn't be able to really put together the performance we've expected out of this team in the second half. And the game really started off pretty rough because Embiid and Maxey were rolling all the way through. I mentioned in the opening that we really just single covered the entire time. We just kind of let them play ISO, and Embiid was punishing us early, mostly on bullshit fouls in the first quarter, although there would be a lot more legitimate ones later on in the game. So there was 2 fouls on all of our bigs in the first quarter, all drawn by Joel Embiid. And Embiid drew a foul within 22 seconds of the game before the Sixers possessed the basketball. He just grabbed Rudy's arm, hooked it, and then threw his head back, and gets one of the 30 favors he gets a night from the Insukya Rhymes, who gotta give him the gah every fucking game. Although I will say, Joel Embiid seems like the best player on the planet this season. I would put him as the favorite for MVP right now. He is a lot, well, I'm not going to say a lot better than last year, but counting stats are even better than last year. Career highs in assists and points. He's also doing really well in the defensive end. I think he's averaging like 1.8 blocks per game and 1.1 steals per game. And just as a formidable presence, a lot of time early in that one, we were just passing the ball off when we were close to the rim. We didn't really want to challenge him most of the time. And then our attitude changed a little bit more, and we were creating contact and trying to finish over him, which we did a couple times pretty well. Of course, no fouls would ever be called on him, but we still were able to finish through contact a couple times and get some good buckets. Cat and Ant each did that well. I mentioned Jaden early on in that first half too. But the Wolves just didn't do what they need to beat this Sixers team, who has the number 1 offense in the NBA right now. You gotta limit Embiid's free throws. He would get 18 in this one with not a ton of contact, but that's just how it goes. I've mentioned that plenty enough already in this video. And we didn't make him or Maxey uncomfortable at any point. You got to mix up coverages and your policies on great players, or else they can just do the same thing over and over. Like Embiid, just with mid-range jump shot, mid-range jump shot, mid-range jump shot, rip through, fly into a defender, mid-range jump shot, mid-range jump shot. And he was just automatic with that, just face up, pull up, knocking it down over and over. And Gobert was kind of useless. He had 3 nonsensical foul calls on him early that kind of got him out of the okay dance of the game. And he would actually have some beneficial things offensively, even though it wasn't a big night. He would seal Embiid a lot, so Anthony Edwards could get a couple layups, and the help couldn't come over with Embiid because Rudy would seal him early. And Rudy did okay in certain stretches, but he couldn't stop Embiid. Embiid still had enough cushion that it was easy for him to get into his jumper, and Gobert wasn't really impacting those. And I just needed the ball out of his hands because no one else did anything. I think it was just Embiid and Maxey that were in double figures with 40 or 51 and 35, and no one else really had to do much. Along with the Timberwolves playing pretty sloppy basketball and our bench being outplayed, we had 18 turnovers in this game. Off the bench, you get 4 from Naz Reid and 3 from Troy Brown Jr., so that hurts a lot. Also, with Maxey lighting up this defense with ease, the thing that it's got me worried about is speed for our Timberwolves defense, because if you look at our personnel, that's the one thing that we don't have a great defender to match up against, and if we don't dedicate extra defenders to help out against those people, we get punished. Maxey's one of the fastest players in the NBA. He lights us up tonight, and we can't catch up to impact his layups. And then you look at the game where we lost at home against the Kings with De'Aaron Fox, and he was also unstoppable, and that's how you can punish some of our size, and it's something that we can't keep up with, we can't deter as easily. So speed is something that we're going to have to figure out how to match up against, and has been a problem. Alright, I'm not salty. Bye.